Alrighty, hello YouTube. So this is going to be our video response to Ad Veritatum's video called Problems with Atheism, and it's going to be a long one, so I'm just going to jump right into it. He offers 9 points for consideration on why there's difficulties with an atheistic framework. I don't think any of them really hold, but well, let's jump into it. Number 1, there's no basis for morals without God. Oh, I'm going to be scripting this just because I need to go quickly. There's no basis for morals without God. Ad Veritatum asserts this, but there's 2 problems with what he says. First, he doesn't tell us how things would be better with God than without. And second, a rational basis for morals seems possible on the surface. I mean, that's what Kant was trying to do with his whole categorical imperative and all that sort of thing. And you don't even have to go into the sort of consequentialist lines that Ad Veritatum was trying to put forward with his critique of utilitarianism and that sort of thing. As well, the Euthyphro dilemma seems to be really helpful for illustrating that God doesn't make bad actions bad, unless you want to back divine command theory. In which case you're going to be subject to the same sort of arguments against subjectivism that you seem to be arguing against in the first place. Might doesn't make right, and if it does, then we don't need God for morals anyway. Number 2, human lives have no purpose without God. Given that purpose is user-defined, people have purpose if they think they do. Even if there was a God and he had a purpose in mind for our lives, if we disagree, it's not like we're wrong about the purpose of our lives. We simply have a case where 2 users want to use something for different purposes. If I make a large block for the purposes of using it as a hammer, and you decide to use it as a doorstop, you're not wrong for using it. It's not like the hammer is purposeless in this instance. Its purpose is whatever it's being used to. Likewise with human lives. Our lives have the purpose that we put them to. You don't need a God for that because it's goal-oriented. Number 3, we can't know the ultimate purpose of anything without God. I'm willing to agree with this, but only because I don't think there's an ultimate purpose, as we've already gone through with part 2, beyond the user-generated one. I'm not really sure why this is a problem. It seems like you're just putting forward things that you dislike as a means of illustrating difficulties with atheism, but there's no problem here. And I should point out that the last 3 arguments that you've put forward are just arguments from consequences. Even if they were all true, and they're not, as we've just highlighted, it wouldn't impact the veracity of atheism in any way. It's not a problem for atheism. It's just something that you dislike about it. Number 4, seeing is not believing. I'm pretty sure that relatively few people these days are claiming that knowledge only comes through sense perception. However, sense perception is one of the ways that we have of understanding the world around us. And while it is flawed, I mean, you bring up mirages and dreams and that sort of thing, sure, we can go with that. And you can invoke external world skepticism all you like. It remains that our senses seem to be, for the most part, reliable in most circumstances. And so I'm really not sure where you're going with this. I mean, if you want to invoke external world skepticism, that's fine. But I mean, if the world is as we perceive it, then there's no real difficulty here. And the fact that we can highlight mirages and dreams and that sort of thing as instances where our senses have failed merely goes to prove the point that they are generally reliable. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be able to note that that they have been fooled. And the fact of the matter is, it's still better to believe things with evidence than it is to believe things without evidence. Surely you can agree with that. I mean, if you have evidence for something, that provides more justification than believing things for no good reason. Your argument regarding numbers doesn't really indicate that there are non-material things that exist so much as it illustrates that we have the ability to create conceptual frameworks that are useful for describing the world around us. Yay, us.